It's like people who like do like architecture art and stuff like that. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it? It doesn't.
Well, if you think about it, 'cause, like, you will think that there is art that makes sense, but then if you think about it, you're like, well, why are they drawing
Well, whatever it's called, I think it's non-Euclidean space. My brain understands that kind of stuff, that like where the stakes are low, it doesn't really matter. Like if the line goes a little bit over or the color goes out of the lines, whatever. But the thing with the guitar is it's the opposite of that. It's like, it's a kinetic objective reality that I'm just not very good at understanding intuitively. Like every time I try to string it, every time I try to like turn this little tuning peg here, it's doing something, like it's rotating this way. But then that also means that there's a double gear system, so it's rotating the other way, which also means that this tuning peg is also rotating opposite from the way that I'm rotating. So then I have to remember which way that I'm supposed to be, first of all, rotating, and second of all, whether or not that the guitar string is on there correctly. And while I'm trying to figure all this out, it's also like literally poking me, hurting me, swinging in my face.
Ow.
And I have to use like clippers, and like it's just like it's the most overstimulating thing. I have to like touch metal things, like I have to have like tension. I have to like compare tension and contractions. Like, and the thing is like neurotypical people, like they're just like, oh yeah, you just like do it once or twice to get the hang of it. And I'm like, no, like you may get the hang of it. I have to literally understand and master the entire system, or I will not be comfortable with it, and I'll break down crying. And they're like, that's ridiculous. You're telling me you can do all this stuff for 3 months and never have a single autistic meltdown, and like, then that means you could get a job. And I'm like, right, but just stringing a guitar gives me a meltdown. Like, that was the first time I had actually shed any tears for any reason in like 3.5 months. And it was because I'm traumatized from these things. I hate them. It's a, if you know how, I would love that. I already finished it this time, but next time I would love that. I hate doing it. God, it's my least favorite thing. Oh yeah. I'll trade you some artwork. Stringing guitars. See, I fucking hate puzzles, and it's the same feeling.
Puzzles.
Like, I can't stand them. Like every time I'll be like twisting it, and I'm like, I can't tell like if my fingers are twisting the right direction.
Oh, I love
like,
that part.
Oh my god, yeah, you and me are opposite there. That's really funny.
But I love puzzles. When I came to a fire when I was a kid, I used to have to just do a lot of puzzles and like
Bill Morris, that was a banger, yo. That song. Bill. Like, what the fuck was that? Bill. No. It's like boomer stuff. Yeah, I remember that. I skipped a lot of school and also only had the same. I had like four bass channels. Yeah. And then when I was like 11 years old, we got not cable, but like more channels. And then I would watch like Sagwa the cat and like Clifford the Big Red Dog, which I was probably. Was it? Yeah. All right. Then yeah, I was watching PBS. It was funny. Like I'd be watching these like kid shows like Dragon Tales and stuff, and then the adults would leave the room, and I'd switch right back to the Holocaust documentaries. Like, yeah, that was like my jam. Still is.
Oh my god, hello! How are you? Ooh, look at you, you're so stinky. You're like a little pig! I'm sorry.
Yes, she is. Yes.
What's your dog's name?
Rosie May.
Rosie May!
The second dog named Rosie in a row that I've met here, and I've only met 2 dogs here all year, and they've.
She's doing a good swimming. Oh, yeah. His eyes are kind of like matte. Like gray, like some of he's blind.
What I've experienced with the police, like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not as smart as a lawyer. I haven't done law school. And I'm not the cops, you know, but one of the sharpest memories I have, like, maybe, so we may have to move in a second. Oh, no, never mind.
Don't come over here.
We're doing stuff.
One of my most vivid memories is, you know, a grown adult bald man making his way with a very, very, very bright flashlight and a gun in my face, saying, "Let me see your fucking hands." And I'm like, what? Like, it came to this? Like, 'cause I had a ton of screaming matches with my mother. Tons of them. And just for whatever reason that night, you know, no one tells the story straight to me. It's a bunch of gaslighting narcissists.
Yeah.
One way or the other, the cops showed up, and so like, I don't have a good relationship with that in general. You know, like I still always feel like I'm 1 inch from like getting literally locked up, like getting like run the fuck over, like running from the law. Now I don't even have warrants out. I'm not actually even a felon. That's why it's safe to hang out with y'all.
Yeah.
Like, but that could, you know, I mean, that could change in a heartbeat, and then who am I the rest of my life? And like, that's why I don't want to get caught in that system at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught anywhere near that system. I don't want to be rolling around with that system.
But you know it's not actually gonna. Sorry. Oops. You know it's not actually gonna change though. Like you know, on
What's
another
that?
level, you're not gonna suddenly get arrested or something.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that people, when they see it, once they see it in retrospect, once they arrest me.
But it definitely is like
You know,
What?
once,
been in the plastic.
once, so I don't exist yet, right? Think of it like this. I don't exist yet. I'm telling you 2 years out that there's going to be a YouTube channel that's going to get me canceled. The YouTube channel won't get me arrested. It won't. But it's going to be potent enough to people's minds that they're going to want me arrested to put me in a system, in a position where I can't politically induct felons to my cause, but also that causatively I cannot vote. I can't vote in an election if I'm a felon. So they'll discharge me with like whatever they want. For political reasons. They don't do it.
Fear, or this is what's gonna happen.
You seem confident, but there's like a lot of dudes on the internet.
I think
saying
it's
all
because
sorts
it's
of
what
shit.
I'm asking for because I'm looking to go. It's almost like an activism thing. Like if I move to Florida, right, then the things that I'm doing are already unlawful. Just talking openly about being transsexual around children as a school teacher there is enough to get you
Yeah,
locked in.
Florida's scary.
Yes.
It's bad.
Like and the thing is like people act like what, you know, the reason that people are like, well, like, because what it is in a safe system, in this safe system, it's probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
But if the system itself stops being safe, or the people in charge now that are keeping it safe reveal the fact that they haven't been in charge in quite a few years,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I can't get estrogen,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden people are like, you know, blocking each other on Facebook over trans stuff. It's already happening. It's happening with the kids. Like people are blocking each other,
Yeah.
cutting each other out of families and churches. I mean, like, you know. So I look at the law, and I think that that's one of the points that the law can hold against me, just for being different, and just especially because I'm so outspoken. Like I'm not just divergent and different, and they don't just hate me because I'm different. They're gonna hate me because the things that I'm saying
Well,
are
you're
actually
intelligent. You're outspoken.
Yeah.
And yeah. It's,
And I'm not the
yeah.
only one, and it's not
No.
going to be just me, and I'm not special, and that's what fucks
But
me
like,
up.
why don't you just, if you're so worried about it, why don't you change the way you do it? Why don't you dog whistle or something? Do what Tucker Carlson does. I don't know. He's not arrested.
He's fake though. He's also like a billionaire. You know, like he's
Whatever. Yeah, he's a trust fund baby.
like, and if they want to burn him at any time, they can just like do the same thing they do to anyone. They'll just be like, oh yeah, like his wife accused him. Here's a recording. Anything, like, you know. I'm not really worried about that. That's just like besmirchment. The thing is in the 3 or some odd years returning, I've never found the same tree twice. That's what makes me believe, even after looking, like really devoting time and looking,
Yeah.
I've just never found it again. And I have pictures of it, so I know it's real. I know it's not just something that I like misremembered. Like there are pictures of
I
it.
just don't know where it is.
Yeah, and I've tried to use those pictures as context clues to no avail, and I know this place really well. And when I look at it, I'm just very confused because, like, yeah, because like I can take a picture of like basically anywhere else and tell you exactly where it is. Like if I were to see this tree, I'd be able to line these stones up in the background and know like more or less what the angle that I was standing at. It's kind of like playing on a like Call of Duty map, you know?
The mental map. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Call of Duty map here in my head for sure.
That was such a moment. Wow. Yeah. One of us is
This is a wild tree. What is this? I think it may be a horse chestnut, but that could be wrong though. I'll identify it with my app when I get closer. But that's my guess.
what you were saying. Like, I don't even know if we could comprehend like a brain that doesn't perceive. Like, even most organisms on planet Earth can like have some sort of vision, and the ones that
Yeah.
don't have like some sort of alternative way of perceiving reality. But what if there was like a being that like had a different type philosophical thing of like, are we just perceiving things because of our brain chemistry? Is reality even real? You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Or would it be perceived as something completely different if our
I
brains
think
weren't
that
what they are?
it would be perceived identically.
Well, people do perceive color differently than others.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Like
there's
animals.
different types
Yeah.
of color blindness where, like, this one person I know, she sees orange as red, and red is, like, not
What?
red. Yeah.
And that's just like a genetic difference even among other humans.
Yeah.
So imagine like a different species from like another planet. Like maybe it wouldn't see this at all, and it would only, I don't know.
Insects only, like flowers, one of the reasons that flowers do what they do is that
Yeah.
they're seeing and refracting ultraviolet spectrum.
Yeah.
So we can't really see it, but like
Yeah.
there's organisms that pretty much only see it.
Yeah.
And like I also think about that all the time. Like, what would that like
so weird. Yeah.
perception be like? I also think of the emergence of like a sixth so-called sense.
Yeah.
Like we have like the ability to like regulate like thermal. We have Deanna, you would love to try DMT probably someday. If you would love, I think, the outcome. Like, not to tell you would love to do it, but I think that you would love to have the experience to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like your brain is like naturally intrepid into the type of stuff
I'm
it just
already
like.
tapped into the natural DMT in my brain for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to give it extra, but I feel like
I feel that.
I don't know.
It's a totally alien thing.
I'm
I'm worried about getting spun out.
I feel that.
Yeah, me too. It sounds so intense.
It's pretty awesome.
Sounds like disorienting.
Right?
It is.
Like it's like there's no reality in front of you at all. I mean, like I.
Oh no, there's a hyper reality. It feels more real than this reality.
Joseph shrooms, and like I could touch things and I could feel the world around me, but I was hallucinating so violently that I couldn't see reality in front of me anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll definitely
Just,
DMT will
like,
do that too.
undulating Information, color, visuals. It was just absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah.
I think DMT is that, but with no body load, or different type of disorienting body load. It's like.
Body load, what does that mean?
So like when you're on shrooms, have you ever felt like extremely heavy, physically sick?
You
That's a
melt
body
into
load.
things, like,
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the body load.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
And then like DMT does not have as heavy a body load. It's also
I don't know how to describe it.
Or like earthy. I don't
this
know.
one's super weird.
Yeah, that's these ones over here.
Yeah.
Let's get one more big bunch, but
Yeah, let's, like,
from a
walk-
different location.
Walk for a second.
Yeah. The ones that are like soapy sometimes will change from soap to something else, but sometimes they also won't. They'll be soapy.
It's like
This one's soap. That's a soap.
These ones are probably just not ready yet because they don't produce the like really nice oils or whatever it is until yeah,
I like that one that smells.
it's too early. Once they start to turn brown, that's when that you can really harvest them the most.
Yeah.
Oh, they gotta be brown.
They have to be brown, yeah. That means they've gone to seed and dried, and then that's when you can harden them.
Okay.
Yep. And then when you like grind, and here's what's really cool, you can smell them, like pretty much all the way through winter. Like I was really shocked how long that some of these ones that were like in this area that didn't get mowed into the winter, like in the middle of the winter, they were still like you could still just smell them.
No, like they mowed.
Well, they died. They get mowed, but these ones didn't get mowed.